What's going on, guys? Golden Blue Dude here with you again, Braggin Rights. And this week I'm actually doing back to back to back to back shows because of March Madness. So buckle up. It might be a bumpy ride. I don't know about y'all, but my brackets, they're not busted, but they don't look great. And just like I did yesterday, I got two shows going on. I got the Braggin Rights on the NBS Central Facebook, and I got my live YouTube in the house. So, yeah, a shared audience. Things went fairly smoothly last night, so I was like, I'm going to try this again, see how it turns out. Try to see who's talking about what, and we'll see. Sorry, I'm reading comments here and comments there, so if you see me laughing and I'm looking over there, it's because there's comments on the other side. So, what we got going on today? More March Madness, of course. And two conferences are doing really, really good right now. The first one, the Pac-12. The second one, the Big 12. Both of these are undefeated. I don't know if the Texas game is underway or what's going on with that. That's one game that I lost track of. So if y'all want to update me on that, that's fine. But right now, all I know is Oklahoma just beat Missouri not too long ago, and so the Big 12 is still undefeated. And in case y'all missed it, the Pac-12, Oregon won their game against VCU because they had to forfeit. So somebody on my YouTube channel is trying to get me to say something crazy, like Norfolk State beating Gonzaga. I'm not going to say that. That would have to be confirmed. That's crazy. But somebody is saying the Texas game is getting delayed because of some positive tests. Uh-oh. Somebody else going to have to forfeit. Somebody can confirm that, because that would be crazy. I have no idea what's going on that. Here's the thing. I got both of my devices going on right now, so I can't really look things up. I'm watching TV, so I'm getting score updates and all that stuff. But as far as actually looking up information, I can't do that right this second. So for me, and I actually did a video on this earlier on my YouTube channel, Golden Blue Dude. The ACC, they look like trash. What happened? They're 2-5 now. The only two teams that have won for the ACC is Syracuse and Florida State. That's it. And then you have Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Clemson, and Virginia. Virginia lost too, which I kind of saw that one coming. In my brackets, I had Ohio beating Virginia. That was one of the upsets that I predicted. So, it is what it is. But the ACC does not look good at all. But it could be worse. The Mountain West sent two teams in, and both of those two teams are out. San Diego State and Utah State bounced in the first round. So yeah, it definitely could be worse, guys. So the thing is, though, and I'm guilty of it too, especially whenever the conference that your team is in is doing great. That's when you get wrapped up. But if it's not doing great, you don't really care that much. And really, you really shouldn't. I mean, it's just a conference. I know it can make your team look like they have better wins, or their losses weren't as bad as people were saying. So you could look at it that way. But in the grand scheme of things, that really doesn't matter all that much. It's really more of a talking point, like the actual title of my show on the NBS network, Braggin Rights. It gives you bragging rights. So to me, you really got to take it with a grain of salt. It does give me ammo to talk trash, so I am going to take it, and I am going to run with it. That is going to happen. So, I've been sticking it to the Big Ten and the ACC today. Now, the Big Ten did go 3-0 today, so their overall record, I believe, is 5-3 now. Let's see. No, Maryland won too. So their overall record is 6-3. So not halfway bad, but still not as good as the Big 12. Dadgum, they sent 9 teams. That's what I'm talking about. That's ridiculous. So many teams got screwed just because they front loaded the Big Ten right into the big dance. We're talking about teams that had 3 wins over 500. Like, to me, I know they had good wins or whatever, but I mean, you got to look at the overall record. That's just to me the great wins should be like a tiebreaker talking point. Like, first you go by how big the gap is between their actual records. And I know there is some discrepancies as far as, strength of conference, but I think they're taking it a little too far. So maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just my opinion. They've taken this strength of conference thing and just ran with it. I think the Big 12 was pretty strong, and we got 7 out of 10. But even the worst team with the worst record that got in was still 5-6 games above 500. So it wasn't really all that debatable. The Big 10 put teams in that 3 games over 500. That is debatable, and I will debate you all day long. I don't care who you are. I didn't like it. I don't agree with it. And you're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't even care if you make sense. You're not going to convince me. It ain't happening. I've been frustrated with that since the day the daggum brackets came out. So Maryland does beat UConn in an ugly game, 63-54. How many ugly games have we seen today? My gosh. A team that will make the big dance, that didn't make the big dance, that will next year. I got 3 for you. Marquette could do it. Providence could do it. Dadgummit, I done lost that last game. Oh, St. John's. All Big East teams. One of those 3 teams that didn't make it this year will make it next year. Even Seton Hall. The Big East loaded with good teams that didn't make it this year. So I definitely think Marquette, Providence, Seton Hall, and St. John's can make it. Memphis, possibly. They do have good coaching. They got some good players coming back. It could be Memphis too, but right now I would pick out of those 4 out of the Big East, especially since the Big East games are valued more than the AAC. So I would take St. John's, Marquette, Providence, and Seton Hall. One of those 4. And maybe an outside chance of Georgetown. They showed some life towards the end. I know they got pounded today, but they did buzzsaw through the Big East tournament. Well, actually, they made it. But I'm saying, like, not by winning their tournament, by their actual record. So I kind of shot myself in the foot on that one. But you get what I'm saying. That's what happens on live shows. You can't edit it out. When you make a mistake, you just, hey, I made a mistake, shot myself in the foot. So I got the channel that I got it on right now is how do I feel? Hold on. How do I feel about Duke, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Louisville? That's crazy. Blue Bloods not making it. And Arizona, they had the record and all that stuff, but postseason ban. So yeah, a ton of Blue Bloods didn't make it. It was crazy. So I got TNT going on, and they are updating Abilene Christian in Texas. And right now they're showing Street Madness in Ohio after Bobcat victory. Holy crap. So Ohio State loses, but Ohio University wins, and they're making a big deal out of that. That's an interesting development. I don't know what's going on with the Texas Abilene Christian. It still hasn't gotten started, I don't think. But I got it on. I got my TV on TNT, and I'm watching Charles Barkley do college football. That's just weird. That's just weird. We could be looking at another forfeiture when it comes to Texas Abilene Christian. I don't know which team they're waiting on as far as results from COVID. I don't know what's going on with that, but one of the teams is could be having another forfeit, just like what VCU had to do with Oregon State. It's already happened once today, guys. It could happen again. So apparently it's for Texas. So I could actually win that one via forfeiture. That I'm not trying to make light of that. I know COVID is serious. Don't wish that on anybody, but that would be a crazy way to pick an upset. Crazy. I mean, that is the crazy day and age that we live in right now. Like games being picked based on forfeiture. That's nuts, guys. I thought we had this thing under control as far as college sports go in the bubble, and that was the whole reason why we created the Indiana bubble. So somebody's not doing their job. So we have 2 tests inconclusive. So I guess they're retesting and seeing if they can get a negative. I don't know. I don't think they're allowed to play without an actual negative result. And then in that case, then you got all these other guys that could be exposed to the inconclusive. So that's when the whole team gets shut down. So that's what we're waiting on with the Abilene Christian Texas situation. Dadgum. So I got people on here saying they had the second worst bracket in his family so far. I've checked my brackets on ESPN. I still have 3 that are in the 90 percentile. This year, I was only able to do 14 because I got a YouTube channel and, life and all that stuff. But in years past, before I started my sports thing, I maxed it out. And I believe it's either 25 or 30 is the most brackets you can make. And I maxed it out, and it never failed. Every year, it would get whittled down to like 1 or 2 brackets, and it still was like 97 percentile. You would think after, making 30 brackets, you could get in the 99 percentile. I never could do it. So it's just the exact right ingredient of picking the right, upset and the right chalk to win. It's crazy. So they're still waiting on the Texas Abilene Christian thing. They got the graphic up on TNT where it's blinking red. So I guess they're still waiting on the COVID results. This is crazy, guys. Crazy, but that's how things are now. Things are crazy. I think Louisville had the record and the good wins to get in the tournament. So, but then the throwback is the ACC looks like trash in the Big Dance. So that argument might be out the window. I don't. So the fallback would be, your Western Kentuckys, your UABs, your Louisiana Techs, your Memphises, your Toledos, your Buffaloes, your I think Ole Miss should have got in. So there's a lot of teams out there that could have got. Colorado State. I don't know how they're doing in the NIT, but Colorado State had a good resume. I think they should have got in. So many teams. St. John's actually had a 16-11 record, and they were in the Big East. They could have made it in. I didn't agree with how that went down. They're showing clips of Abilene Christian. Their gym is so freaking small. It looks like a daggum high school gym. Wow. And they made it to the NCAA tournament. I've never seen a Division I school with that small of a gym. That's amazing. And they could make it into the round of. All right, so it was just cleared according to the announcer and according to JCP. He's watching. Thank you for the updates, man. Don't forget, if you want to donate directly to Golden Blue Dude without YouTube touching a penny, just send me a super chat, $1. Doesn't have to be much, whatever. We're gonna make this thing bigger. We appreciate every little bit. So I'm wondering how big of a delay this game has actually experienced. I know they're about to start, but does anybody know what time it was actually supposed to start? Like the actual start date of? I would like to see how long this has gone on. So I guess it's the coach, right? I think that's what JCP is saying. The Shaka's test, and he's already went through COVID. I think one time already. So man, that would be rough if he got it again. Dang. All right, so it was supposed to go at 10. It was supposed to come in at 10:05, and so it's only 5 minutes. Hold on, just a sec. I think I missed something, guys. Hold on, let me scroll up real quick. I missed something. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta find something. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Finally popped up. Ray Finkel's house. $19.99 super chat. Thanks for the content, dude. Dude, that is a generous gift. I appreciate that. I just love what I'm doing, and I'm glad that y'all enjoy what I do. The great thing, and same thing for Braggin Rights. The great thing about what I'm doing is I'm not being fake. I'm just being me, and y'all enjoy it. So it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. It's like Michael Vick. I don't know if y'all and Anthony JCP. Y'all don't even realize we got several YouTubers up in the house. Michael Vick, VicTube. He has a YouTube channel. Go check it out sometime. He's doing his thing. Anthony JCP Sports. Go check out his YouTube channel. Doing his thing. So I try to support my fellow YouTubers out there because it is a grind, and there are some weeks where you're like, "Dad, it doesn't feel like I'm making any progress, any headway." And then maybe have a video that does really good in views, and but you're still not gaining subscribers. Or then maybe you have that 1 week where you pop really good with subscribers, but the views aren't there. It's a lot of up and downs in YouTube. You don't just go. I mean, there are some people out there that are lucky enough to where they go straight to the top and they're making a ton of money, right? But for most of us, it's just a regular thing, a daily grind. We're doing the best we can. We're being ourselves. And, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I have definitely been one of the luckier YouTubers. I eclipsed 1,000 last week. And not last week. Almost 2 weeks ago now, I've been at 1,000 subscribers. And a year and a half seems like a long time, but it's really not. Whenever I was at the 1 year mark, I was just trying to get to 200, and then all of a sudden, from the year mark to the year and a half mark, I'm at 1,000. I wasn't prepared for that, and it was overwhelming. And of course, I appreciate everybody that supported me and my channel. So it's just one of those things. So Ray Finkel is headed to the beach. He's going to keep up with Golden Blue Dude. So make sure you have a condo that has good Wi-Fi and good reception, because I'll definitely be pumping out more videos and more live shows, especially with March Madness going on. So it looks like the game is clear to go. Abilene Christian and Texas about to tip off right now. Does anybody have a score on the Gonzaga Norfolk State? I'm sure. Hold on. Looks like Gonzaga is up like 43-23. I can't quite see. UCLA's on top of BYU by a little bit, and now they're showing previous scores on the other side. All right, so we got 3 games left. We got BYU, UCLA. It looks like UCLA's up on that. Gonzaga's winning pretty good, 43-23. Thank you, Michael Vick. Michael Vick. I like to call him Mike Vick. Mike Vick flows better. One of my subscribers on YouTube. And then, of course, Abilene Christian in Texas. Looking at my brackets, those are the only 3 games left. Everything else is made out. So tomorrow, whenever the first round is all said and done, I'll do an updated video on, conference rankings, talk some more trash about that, especially for the ACC guys. I apologize. Well, I don't apologize, but I feel bad for y'all that that have teams that are in the ACC, because a lot of those ACC teams are basketball schools. So, you know, instead of, being in a good mood during football season, you're in a good mood during basketball season. And now that March Madness is rolling around, the conference is doing bad. So more than likely, your team is doing bad, and you're probably depressed. So I do have empathy. I am a human being. Um, Even though I talk trash, I feel for you. I understand. West Virginia, my team, we are a football first school, but we are very strong in basketball as well, as far as supporting our basketball team. We got Coach Bob Huggins. We're doing great. Last time we went to the Final Four was 2010. We go to the big dance pretty much every single year. But if you said, all right, pick a sport, football, basketball, West Virginia fans most definitely would pick football. I mean, that's just a given. But this year, it's looking like West Virginia could do some real damage. Wow. Some real damage in the NCAA tournament. So it looks like, in light of the Ohio State fiasco, people are transferring. JCP is saying Washington is transferring out of Ohio State. JoJo Bugs, what's going on, bud? So that was a big loss for Ohio State. People getting death threats. FBI investigating that. That caused a big ruckus up in Columbus. People are not happy about that, and I understand. Sports is very emotionally connected. I understand that, but I don't know. You can't take it that far. I would be upset. I'd probably be cussing, stuff like that. But death threats, you can't do that. That's just, you can't do that, guys. Let's see. Yeah, I appreciate that, JoJo. Everybody dropping by to show me support. I always appreciate that. You guys are amazing. I think I have the best subscriber bunch of anybody. We're not that big. We just passed 1,000, but you guys are so active. Y'all are very supportive, and I definitely appreciate it. Y'all need to know that for sure, for sure. Pizza Woman has turned into a regular over here on my live show, so she's turned into a pretty good supporter. So I wanted to let her know. I appreciate her support too. JCP Sports, Michael Vick, Chase Me Crazy, JoJo Bug stopped by, Hufferbilly Paul. Yeah, a lot of people stopped by. So if you have a YouTube channel and maybe I don't know about it, drop the name. I don't mind shouting your name out. I know I've already shouted out JCP Sports, Mike Vick, shouted him out. You got a YouTube channel? Let me know. I got another audience on this other side, so I can let them know as well. No problem, no worries. And now they're talking about Chris Holtmann getting bought out of Ohio State. That's how mad they are about this. That loss to Oral Roberts is a big deal. We got death threats going on. We got guys transferring out. We got the coach potentially being bought out. So it's crazy. Oh, I didn't know that. So Chase Me Crazy, that's his actual YouTube channel name. So whenever you get a chance, and I don't think I'm even a subscriber of you, so I didn't know that. So I'll have to check that out. Chase Me Crazy. I'll check it out. TigerNet. Yeah, I'm actually a member of Facebook group TigerNet, so I know some guys over there. If you're just joining, Abilene Christian in Texas just got underway. Texas is up 7-4, but it was delayed for a little bit because apparently Shaka Smart's COVID test came back inconclusive the first time, so they had to clear him. And some big news out of Ohio State. We got some people transferring out of Ohio State. We got some death threats. The coach might being bought out. I mean, it's just a lot of crazy nonsense because perspective has been lost. It sucks that they got beat, and it was embarrassing. But I think the people in Columbus are taking it just a little bit too far. I mean, there comes a point where human life is more valuable than a win in a basketball tournament. So I think things are being blown out of proportion. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be emotional and you shouldn't be mad and you shouldn't be upset whenever stuff like that happens. You should. I do all the time. But you don't go crazy and lose your temper and start doing things you're going to regret later. I mean, a month from now, they're going to look back. They're like, oh, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have transferred. Maybe I really wanted to stay and I was just mad, in the moment. The guy that's transferring out of Ohio State, what if he regrets that mistake? And next year, Ohio State actually does really, really good in the tournament. You just don't know. You can't make knee-jerk emotional-based reactions because of a bad loss in a sport. You can't do that. That's pretty much nonsense. So I want to go down my conference rankings real quick. Well, tied for first place, depending on what happens with Texas, tied for first place right now. Well, I guess the Big 12 has actually jumped into first place because they got another win. In first place is the Big 12. They are 6-0. Texas is in action, so if they win, then the Big 12 will have gone undefeated. Right behind the Big 12 is the Pac-12. They went 5-0 if you count the forfeiture by VCU. If you missed that earlier, VCU had to forfeit the game against Oregon. Oregon moves on to the round of 32. So that's basically a tie for first place, but since the Big 12 gets one more team in, we'll go ahead and give them the first place. So second place, Pac-12, 5-0. Third place is the SEC. They're actually doing pretty good, 5-1. No, 4-2. My bad, 4-2. Missouri picked up a loss. So I think now it's a two-way tie for third place because that puts the Big 12 at 4-2 and the Big 10 at 6-3. So they're both at the same exact winning percentage. So there is now a two-way tie for third place. Big 12 SEC picked up a loss and the Big 10 picked up another win. So that's a tie for third place. So now we go on to fifth place, and that would be the Big East. They are 2-1. Villanova and Creighton moved on, of course, and then Georgetown got blown out. And then there's, sixth place, and that's going to be the AAC. They only got two teams in, but they're still at a 50% winning clip right now, 1-1. One got in, and one got knocked out. Houston moved on. Wichita State got knocked out in the play-in game. So that is sixth place. And then seventh place is the ACC. Golly. The ACC is now 2-5 because of that Virginia loss. They are looking really, really bad. They look like garbage. But they aren't in last place. The last place honors belongs to Houston. Not Houston. The Mountain West. My bad. Mountain West sent two teams, and both those teams got bounced in the first round. San Diego State got bounced by Syracuse, and Utah State also got bounced in the first round. So as bad as it's going for the ACC, at least you got two out of your 7 teams. Dang, they sent 7. So the Big 12 sent 7. The ACC sent 7. The SEC sent what? 6? Hold on, let me check them real quick. Yeah, the SEC sent 6, and yet somehow the Big 10 sent 9. Yeah, the more this goes on, the more I'm not buying it at all. But like I said, it could be worse with the winless Mountain West. Kind of feel bad for him. Anthony JCP thinks we're 1 year away from conference realignment. I think the problem with conference realignment is locked-in deals. There has to be something where it's got to line up to where contract runs out or the conference is willing to buy out that conference or buy out the contract. So I don't know how all that would get worked out. I do know that the Big 12's current contract is up in, I think it's 2024. I know that's what it is for West Virginia. So I don't think we're a year away, but maybe 2 or 3 years away. That wouldn't surprise me. And I've been preaching this since day one. Ever since West Virginia went to the Big 12, I was like, this is stupid. This is nuts. And that was the whole reason why West Virginia hired Dana Holgerson. He was a terrible coach. But since we were going into the Big 12, our higher ups, powers that be, wanted to, get a coach that was familiar with the Big 12. And it's been an utter fiasco. We have had some success, not much, and we have made a lot of money. But I guarantee it, if we would have, held our ground for another year, we'd be in the ACC right now. But we wanted the sure thing. We didn't want to end up in limbo. But you got to have more confidence in your brand than that. I think West Virginia has a good enough brand to where they would have not ended up outside of a Power 5 conference, at least for no more than a year, maybe a year at the most, but no more than a year. People know the brand. It's not as strong as, like a Oklahoma, Clemson, Notre Dame, stuff like that. But I would say it's on that second tier. A lot of people don't know this. West Virginia is the winningest team to not win a national championship. I know that's not, anything great to brag about, but we have had a lot of success. We've just never won, a national championship. We have a strong brand. People that see the flying WV, you know what that represents. The brand is strong. So I think the worst case scenario would have been West Virginia would have had to have waited 1 year if indeed they were not going to be in a conference for any amount of time. But they didn't have confidence in the brand. The Big 12 came by waving the money. They were definitely not thinking about the student athlete because that is way too much travel for West Virginia student athletes. And I'm not just talking about football. I'm talking about basketball, baseball, all that stuff. And I know they can fly, whatever, but that still wears on you. That is a long way away from home a lot of the year. The closest road game for West Virginia is Iowa State. So trust me, I am all for conference realignment. I just don't know how they would work out the contracts and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll happen. For Braggin Rights, I don't know if you guys on my YouTube channel even know this, but as soon as March Madness is over, we will get back to talking about wrestling. Yes, I talk about the WWE on my show for the NBS Central Facebook group, and we're working for WrestleMania. Have we already passed WrestleMania? I'm not even sure now. I've gotten lost, whatever. But we're going to get back on track with the WWE and the news on that. So trust me, yes, there's an audience for that, and the audience enjoys it. So if you like that, go check out the NBS show that I do called Braggin Rights. We try to do it either every Tuesday or every Thursday. My opinion on the Roman Reigns thing, because JCP asked me. Here's the thing about Roman Reigns. We're talking about the WWE real quick. So here we go. Roman Reigns has been force-fed to the WWE universe for a long time. First as a babyface, and now as a heel. So this was going to happen no matter what, whether he was going to have success or whether he wasn't. Because he was of the Samoan descent, related to The Rock. Same thing with the Usos. They're just not going to give the audience any choice, and they're going to force feed them, to you no matter what. So my opinion is it was going to happen no matter what. I don't particularly enjoy it myself. I do think the heel turn was a good move for the WWE, but either way, it's more of Roman Reigns, and honestly, I think if Roman Reigns went to AEW and they repackaged him, I would probably like him a lot more. As long as AEW didn't try to force feed him to me like the WWE is. I think he has decent talent. Not that great on the mic. what I would do is I would have Paul Heyman have him speak more for Roman Reigns. I know he's kind of been Roman's mouth a little bit more than usual, but almost like the Brock Lesnar type of angle that they took. Because I don't think that Roman Reigns is all that strong on the mic. I don't think he's as weak as Brock Lesnar was on the mic, but he's definitely not strong. So yeah, he's to me he reminds me of John Cena in the fact that he's kind of lazy in the ring. But the only thing about Roman Reigns is he doesn't have the mic skills that John Cena does. Love him or hate him, John Cena has mic skills. Roman Reigns does not. So he really needs to develop his mic skills for him to be an all-around star. But it's no surprise that the WWE is still trying to force feed us Roman Reigns. I am glad that they did turn him heel. I think that's going to help his career. But the WWE needed for it to happen organically like they did for The Rock, because they saw what they did with The Rock. They tried that in the beginning. It was not working. He organically went heel turn instead of force feeding year after year after year and then heel turn. So that's why, and they were trying to follow their own recipe, but at the same time, they didn't. They kind of went away from it. You have to let things happen organically the way they're supposed to happen. And with Roman Reigns, it just seems like they're not willing for that to happen because they're scared that Roman Reigns will fail. But you know what? If he does, he does. That's better than forcing people to try to either love or hate somebody. You got to let it happen if it's going to happen. So that's the thing about that. And that's a good point, Anthony JCP. Yeah, now we're talking WWE. How about that, guys? Daniel Bryan's fame happened very organically. They brought him in at, whenever NXT was still that competition show. And what people didn't realize is he had been wrestling for 10, 15 years, for a while, but he never got eyeballs. He didn't have the exposure. Well, he comes to WWE, he got the exposure. And to be honest with you, it looked like they tried to bury Daniel Bryan at first. They gave him The Miz. The Miz was burying him every chance he could on the mic. And it still happened organically. And now we see today, Daniel Bryan has had a pretty good career so far. So that's what you look for. You don't look for, force feeding somebody just because they're related to somebody that did, great stuff for your brand. You got to let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And I think that's why AEW is having so much success right now. Even bringing Sting back, they're not force feeding people Sting. It's just happening. It does help strengthen the brand that you have the name Sting there, but they're not force feeding you Sting. And I think that's what Impact Wrestling and TNA, one of their mistakes was they relied too much on name recognition and not on, building their younger stars. All right, guys. So you guys, I'm going to keep going. But I'm going to get off here for my Braggin Rights live show. I hope y'all enjoyed. Tomorrow evening, I will be back here at 10 p.m. Same time, same network. I'll have my YouTube channel up and running, so I'll have, the same audience. So stop on by if you have any questions. Let me have it. I can handle it. You want to trash talk me? Let me handle it. I can take it. I've been trash talked by the best of them. You can ask my YouTube audience. I have been trash talked by the best of them. I can handle it. I don't take things personal. As long as you don't try to start taking shots at my family, that's when I start getting pissed. But that's a different story. So I'm going to get off here, guys. But I'll be back here same time, same place, 10 p.m. If you want to keep watching me, go check out my YouTube channel. I'm still live. Gold and Blue Dude. I will be on until the end of these games for the first round. But I'm going to get off here. I'll be back here at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your night. Come check me out tomorrow night on Braggin Rights, 10 p.m. And Monday night, 10 p.m.